Usual, read the caption of this broadcast. Read beyond the caption of the broadcast, by the way. Read the description of the broadcast. Like it. Share it. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them all that Mayegun today, the Mayegun is live. And if you have done that already, again, I want to say thank you to you. And to others, please do before you fully settle down. Because once you are settled, listen, you probably will forget about it completely. So thank you so much once again. So tonight, we are taking on the recent or the latest development coming from the staple of the coalition Martians. So those of you who have been calling for coalition, which means people, the opposition have to come together if they want to rescue Nigeria from the arms of APC. The last time, a lot of people said the reasons why APC got away with their rigging machines was because there were not enough, polling unit agents, so to say. They said there were not enough hands to help secure especially the obedience and their votes. That in so many areas where the APC, either destroy the obedient vote, that's Peter Obi, or rig the election totally in favor of APC. Egbekegbe was due to the absence of, polling unit agents, as well as other supposedly recruited, monitoring team to prevent any form of cheating. So some of them, some of the obedient and other observers have been saying the only way that the APC, Egbekegbe, can be challenged genuinely and possibly dislodged, right, in any election is to have collaboration with all kind of other opposition groups. But Nigeria is a place where what you have is not a real opposition, but controlled opposition. Opposition whereby the ruling party actually have their own molds in all the political parties. And therefore, they are there to sabotage any effort and every effort that could possibly, right, whittle down the influence of the APC, Egbekegbe rigging machine. All these are the utterances of people who believes that an election can actually get rid of APC, Egbekegbe, okay? So the obedience, Peter Obi won the last election, free and square, except for the fact that the compromised umpire, INEC, led by the Momodu Yakubu, the man that is believed to have sold the election to Tinubu. Tinubu himself once bragged that he bought the election, he paid for it, and therefore he can do whatever he likes. That's what a group of northern leaders or Islamic leaders who met with him said last year. However, the talk of opposition coming together to form a coalition has been the front burner. But like I said, what you have in Nigeria is not opposition, but controlled opposition, where the supposed opposition are pretty much in bed with the ruling party. To the obedient, if the election wasn't tampered with at the last time, Peter Obi will score nothing less than 10 to 12 million votes. That's to the obedient. And the reason why Peter Obi stands out among his own, for his own supporters and even admirers alike, is the fact that he is not like the corruptly drenched political class of that contraption. So he won the hearts of young people and even older people alike, that a lot of people believe that if he was, this is what people are saying, if he was possibly in a kind of like a coalition with Atiku, there is a chance that you will not have this Tinubu that you have today. But others are saying even the division that led to the split of votes, as they call it, the split of vote is orchestrated as well by the same Tinubu, even when he wasn't in power. Now, let's cut a long story short. Talk of coalition means, especially to you, the obedient, you would have to deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. So others are now beginning to take position like, no, there are some characters that they would automatically, right, distance themselves from Peter Obi if he is to be seen with this and that or this or that character. At the top of that list is El Rufaya, the Kaduna Little Finger, the evil man that is now pretending to be in the opposition, rallying the opposition together and all that. So the obedients are currently also divided, by the way, especially when they heard that, El Rufaya, who is now acting as, acting like he's an opposition after being chanked, after being used and dumped by Tinubu, the druggie. So in all this, right, the obedience from Southern Kaduna outrightly are sounding the bell of warning, the warning bell, that if for any reason they see Peter Obi and El Rufaya of Kaduna, right, they will distance themselves from this Obi and his ambition. Others are saying that, listen, Obi himself hasn't declared that he wants to be president or run for president again, even though he said he's not desperate to be president of Nigeria, but he's desperate to see a working Nigeria. He himself also came out recently and said, listen, I am not going to go into any coalition with some people, powermongers, simply because of, I'm not going to go into a coalition with powermongers, those who want to hijack power for their own use, not for the use of the general populace. Now, in all this back and forth, people can't deny the fact that these guys have been meeting. I haven't seen Peter Obi and El Rufaya together yet, but I'm not going to be surprised. So the only thing there is that some people believe that, should I even just say, some of these northerners believes that because Peter Obi is an infidel in their book, right, is never going to be followed to become their candidate in northern Nigeria. And to the obedient, to hell with you. And that's your Islamic fanaticism, calling people infidel, right? And then deciding to go with known rogues and criminals who can easily hide behind that your religion. So to the obedient, what they want is a free and fair election, right? Where Peter Obi can be, can stand alone. But others are like, nah, it's not going to work like that. However, we have seen Peter Obi with Atiku. We have seen Peter Obi with a few others. But recently, we've just, now we have seen Peter Obi with BALA Mohammed, the man that Werewike said is a serial betrayer that used Werewike in order to settle his scores with Atiku. Now, Werewike, BALA Mohammed happened to be one of the people that got Werewike mad, that has got into that state of mental disorder that seems to be like incurable as we speak, until he finally burned down the entire PDP as he promised as well. Now, Peter Obi was seen in Bauchi earlier today, and he was visiting BALA Mohammed. Now, BALA Mohammed, who is also a Tinubu says to G, came out and said, listen, right? You, Mr. Peter Obi, you have been so consistent, and anybody who wants to say there is any other opposition figure in Nigeria that is more popular than yourself, that person will be lying. According to him, right, Peter Obi is the face of opposition in Nigeria, and therefore everybody should possibly just rally around him and be behind him, which means if Peter Obi has been able to break into the middle belt of Nigeria, part of the northern Nigeria, broke into the east, owned the eastern part of Nigeria, and at the same time, most of the Niger Delta part of Nigeria, including the southwest part of Nigeria, where Tinubu comes from. So the only space where they rigged the election, for, according to him, where they rigged the election for Tinubu last time, was in northern part of Nigeria where the result was written. Now they are full of regrets that they regretted, in fact, pushing this their Muslim agenda. How many of you remember when I said that, you see this whole coalition thing led by El Rufaya? I wouldn't say it's led by him, he's one of them, okay? So I mean, people put out a theory where they said, if you look at it very well, like the antecedent of El Rufaya, the Kaduna Little Finger, this whole idea of their coalition thing to stop Tinubu might not actually be about Tinubu, but about this Peter Obi, to stop him, possibly drag him into one fake coalition arrangement, and then make an agreement to say, okay, you know what, just say that you are not going to, you know, you're going to abide by whoever is choosing among us as the candidates, stuff like that. But it seems like it is playing along that line so far. But we are going to go to Bauchi, okay, where this meeting took place and the engagement and what transpired as well, okay. So those of you who, I mean, in fact, let's put it this way, it's a two-way thing, okay. I don't believe in that contraption, and I don't believe in your charade election, and that is why I would never encourage it. But for those of you who are willing to be used, there are some certain things that you can also possibly put forward that can make your expectation a little bit realistic. Those who want to come together to form a coalition to remove Tinubu in 2027 or wherever, right? They must actually start now. Start now, where you begin to challenge this systemic rot, a compromised system, which indeed has the entire thing rigged even before the first ballot is cast. So before you cast your first ballot, the entire system, starting with your fake constitution to your fake electoral act, to the selection process of those who are going, the umpire, those who are going to conduct your fake election as well. So if you look at the entire thing, it's so rotten that nothing has really changed. Rather, Tinubu has succeeded in consolidating his state capture so far. So anybody who wants to lead you into any charade election, either as one man mopo or as a coalition, they should be talking about, you know, the, should I say, the trashing of that fake constitution called the Nigeria 1999 Constitution. And at the same time, the constitution of the INEC that you have currently led by Yakubu Mamudu. So all this, so anybody who wants to lead you into any election, they should actually be working in dismantling this, you know, this hegemony, this, you know, this compromised system. Anything short of that is just another awada keri comedy, a clown show. So Peter Obi also said, I mean, he kind of gave his own speech at BALA Mohammed's office, you know, in Bauchi. BALA Mohammed is the governor of Bauchi, by the way. He's also a former minister. He's a criminal, a career criminal, for that matter. So, well, you are talking about coalition. It simply means that those who are in the opposition should come together and, you know, save or rescue you. And the obedient will say that they are not going to participate in anything except Peter Obi is on the ballot. You know what I mean now? So you have, you know, you have just one single option, if that is your choice of coalition and Obi leading it. You would have to deal with other bunch of criminals like BALA Mohammed, like El Rufaya, Atifku, Saraki, and others like that, who have to, including Kwakwansop, you know. So that's your Saint Obi would have to dine and wine with this crook. And you would have to embrace them. I don't know how that make people, some of you don't really mind, because to you, anything is better than Tinubu that you have, or APC, I get it, okay? I just don't know how that would make somebody like me feel if I happen to be an obedient like yourself, right? I don't know how it's going to feel like to begin to ignore the atrocities of these criminals simply because there is an OB that is going to possibly wash away their sins, or we can ignore all their what have you. Again, I am not a one Nigerianist, so I wouldn't know how it feels. And I'm not going to judge you. Mine is just to put everything out there so that when the whole thing begins to play out, right, you will remember the diary and what transpired on here. Let's go to that Bauchi, where Peter B himself said people are going through hell. And he is not surprised. He said he's not surprised because if anybody is kind of like surprised at how Tinubu is ruining this contraption right now, then that person possibly wasn't really alive during their charade campaign. Said Tinubu promised to continue from wherever Bukwari stopped, remember? And from what we had under Bukwari, the killings, the looting, the corruption, the impunity, name it. Bukwari wrecked Nigeria economy, left the exchange rate at over 400 naira official rates. Tinubu took it from there to 1,600. That is like times 4 of what it was. So he's taking it further from where Bukwari stopped, right? So the killings in Nigeria continues unabated as we speak, while propaganda also continues to make people feel like it is not that bad. Yeah, people are dying, and so people are still starving, hungry, and the cost of living crisis has now kind of like become unbearable. But the APC, Egbekegbe, keeps pushing the agenda, the narrative that it is not that bad. Imagine where you had a bag of rice for 27,000 naira just under 2 years ago, right? And today, a bag of rice is over 80,000 naira. But remember, when Tinubu first took over, a bag of rice jumped to over 120,000 naira. And today, when it is 80-something thousand naira, people are expected to go out there and dance and be happy. I say, listen, it's coming down. You should be happy that things are coming down now. Forgetting the fact that under 2 years ago, right, you could possibly fuel your car with 15,000 naira, fill your tank of your car for 15,000 naira, and today you will need more than 80 to 100,000 naira to fill the same tank. But if you go out there and Dangote is now selling a liter of petroleum for 950 naira per liter from 167 naira per, so so from 1,200 naira per liter. Remember, it was initially under 2 years ago, it was 167 naira per liter, right? Then this happened, jumped to 1,200 naira per liter, then came down to 1,100, 1,000, now 950 naira per liter. Why won't you be grateful that you are paying times 4 for the same liter of petroleum what you used to pay for it under 2 years ago? So you should be happy. It's coming down. It's now 950. So yes, everything is coming down. So this is it. So Tinubu has done so well enough that to take you to probably where you never expected to be, and that's where you are now. So similarly, when a dollar is exchanged for 410 naira to $1, just less than 2 years ago, officially, black market was about 600 naira to $1, right? Today, a dollar officially is 1,600 naira to $1. It's coming down. They will say, it's coming down. It is now 1,540 naira. Let us be happy. From 400 naira up to 1,500. So that is how they roll, okay? So when Tinubu took over the reign of, when he hijacked the government of Nigeria, inflation, right? Inflation was at 22%. Today, inflation is over 40%. But they just did the abracadabra. They said, oh, inflation is now back to 24%. Food inflation, right? Food inflation was somewhere around 23, 24% before Tinubu took over. By the time Tinubu took charge up to now, right, the food inflation is more than over 100% today. Officially, they say it is 44%, which is a lie. Abi, if a bag of rice was 27,000 naira in 2023, and a bag of rice is today 90,000 naira a bag, is that a 44% increase? Is that 44% inflation? That is more than a 200% inflation. But again, you should be happy it's coming down. So Obi and BALA, in Bauchi. It is a long watch. Kindly watch this. We are going to start from that.
For personal interests. You see, the government in power relish in being undertakers in different parties. We will use knowledge, tact, and strategy to transcend all this, to go beyond their estimation in such a manner that we'll come with a framework that will give you as latitude to actualize our collective aspiration of providing good governance to Nigerians, irrespective